I'm so excited to share how to make this summer ice cream card with you today. In this tutorial, I'm going to be introducing you to potentially two new tools. One is the premium fine point blade and housing, and the other is a foil transfer kit. So let's get started by adding our design to Design Space. Head to your canvas and then go to Upload image, and you should find it in your downloads folder when you select browse. Open, then select upload, find it in your recent uploads, and add to canvas. Now there's a little bit of work to be done in Design Space to prepare it for the foiling. I'm going to separate this background or these background elements, and this centerpiece I want it to be a foil. So go to Operations, Foil, and then Bold. And then I'm going to select both of those and hit Attach in the Layers panel. Then I'm going to separate these elements, grab the banners, the cone away. I'm going to just select these and attach them together so they cut on the cardstock the way I want them to. And then for the ice cream words or ice cream letters, we're going to just select, and this can be a bit tricky with how I've laid out the design, but you'll see that all the lines on top that we want to be foil sprinkles are just above in the layers panel. So that's an easy way. You can hold down Shift while you're selecting those lines, and that will allow you to select them all at once just by holding Shift on your computer. And then turn them into bolds and attach. Oh, and something funny happened here. I don't want this to be red cardstock. I still want it to be the creamy vanilla. Maybe it's because this one I must have missed. Okay, and then I'm just gonna select the U, make those bolds, and be sure to attach them. Same with the Y. Select holding Shift all the lines on top and bold, then attach. Okay, so then we'll be ready to make this. So make it, and in the next section I will walk you through how to use the foiling tool. So the blue one is a foiling tool, and the rose gold one is the precision fine point blade. The foiling tool is going to allow us to attach gold foil to our cardstock. This tool comes with 3 different heads that you can pop in and out. We're just going to use the bold one. The fine one is very fine. So I'm going to walk you through how to use this. Here's the foil paper, and you can see that I've already done the border piece. And I'm going to use the same sheet to do the sprinkles. Now, for the very first time you use this, you want to make sure that your foil is flat. That will ensure that you get the best transfer of the foil. But now that I've done it a couple times, I know how to position it so that I can maximize the use of the foil sheets. So that's what I'm doing. Because my matte stickiness is running low, I'm just going to quickly lightly put tape around some of the corners to hold my cardstock down. To be honest, I'm pretty lazy about cleaning them and adding new glue. I'd rather just use these as long as possible, and then when there's really no stickiness, I just replace them. And then you have to place the foil where the shiny side is facing upwards. And you're also going to use a little bit of tape to place this foil down. The foil transfer kit does come with instructions, so you might want to read through that, but it's pretty simple. Okay, once you've placed the foil down, you're ready to run it through your machine as Cricut Design Space prompts you to. And the foil is the very first tool you will use. So I'm going to swap out my standard blade that came with the machine and pop in the blue foil transfer tool with the bold tip. And I'll just show you here how it pops in just by pushing down the top, and a little magnet holds it in place. Then I'm going to close it. Then I'm going to run it through. And then I'm just going to speed up as it does this. So this is quick because it's just a sprinkle, so it's a couple straight lines for the machine to do. And then you just remove the foil sheet. Don't unload any mat and remove the tape. And here I'm seeing I placed it a little bit too high on my board so that it's stuck under the corner of the bar on my Cricut, but I was able to remove it. So you might want to just make sure that it doesn't go over the edge of your mat. I did that just because I wanted to avoid that arch shape that I had already used, but it does make it more challenging. Okay, so now I'm going to do the precision blade. Before I had this precision fine point blade, I was always struggling, especially with cutting small typography for my cards. After I got this, I have not had a single tear. Whenever it's a smaller object that I want to cut, like I'm cutting the ice cream, which is quite small, I just pop in this. There's no instructions given to you in Cricut Design Space. You just have to make your own call of whether you think you're going to need to use this blade. But it has helped so much, especially with typography. I don't think I would be able to easily cut the ice cream cone with my regular blade. There's just too much detail. So this blade, I think, is a must-have in your toolkit if you want to avoid the frustration of having tears. So you can see you've got the foil transfer and also these drips done on the ice cream under the U. Those would easily tear. They're just too detailed for the regular blade that comes with your machine. But having this fine point blade helps so much. So I definitely recommend getting your hands on one. Okay, so now I'm gonna push my machine away and prepare to assemble all of the pieces together. So now I have everything laid out here. And I'm just going to start placing elements where they need to go. So I'm placing a little bit of foam tape on the one side and a little bit of just double-sided adhesive tape on the other side of the top layer of the cone, and then placing it down. And I apologize for the lighting. The clouds were rolling in and out when I filmed it, and I didn't realize until afterwards. So then the next is just placing adhesive tape, or you can use whatever kind of adhesive you like. White glue would work, or um, a glue stick. Then I'm going to place this banner down. So I'm first doing the bottom one and just eyeballing where it goes. And then the inside one, I've already scored the little tab on the end and stuck it to the front one. So this really creates the wraparound for the cone. And I decided I want a little bit of foam tape for some added dimension on that corner piece. So I'm just going to add that in. The more dimension, the more fun your cards are, in my opinion. So you can see I've already attached the middle piece to the top one. And then I'm just going to eyeball where I want this to sit on top of the second one, or the ribbon piece that's at the back. So I'm just lining it up so that it hits the end, and then my cone will be able to go in between those. So I'm going to use foam tape behind the cone. And place it down. It's just so that it's almost touching the bottom, but not quite. I want to give room for the yum to go inside the cone. And then another piece of foam tape to adhere the top ribbon down. And I'm just going to give it a little bit of a curve. There we go. Then the next is just using foam tape behind the ice cream. And I'm just zooming through this because I think you get how it's done. And I just overlapped the M slightly on the cone and did the same for the top two. Next is adhering down the ice cream. And I decided, because of how small it was, using a paintbrush and some white glue would be the best route to go. Takes a little bit of time to adhere these, but take your time. And then the ice. And there you have your completed card. If you have any questions about the two tools we discussed today and what they're able to do, please don't hesitate to reach out and ask me anything. And you'll find links for all the tools and materials used underneath and on my blog.